Young and the Restless. Daniel gets Tessa pregnant. Shocking baby bombshell rocks Genoa City. Young and the Restless has Tessa Porter, Kate Fairbanks, and Daniel Romalotti, Michael Graziere, getting intimate while Mariah Copeland, Cameron Grimes, is getting pulled back down Ian Ward, Ray Wise, as Dark Path. I suspect Mariah is eventually going to break out of this mental health spiral. But by the time she does, will her leaving Tessa and Aria behind cost her everything? Mariah might be in for one big shocker. We're going to talk about what happens if Tessa is pregnant with Daniel's baby by the time Mariah returns. The heartbreaking breakdown of Mariah and Tessa's marriage on Young and the Restless. Right now, Tessa is getting in deeper with Daniel. As far as Tessa's concerned, she fought as hard as she could for her marriage. But Mariah just completely bailed on Tessa and Aria. It was Mariah who insisted on moving out. It was Mariah who did the documents to legally separate from Tessa. Without a conversation, without any back and forth, Mariah just went and did it. Tessa was hurt, but she was trying to be sympathetic. And then Mariah up and left for that clinic in Boston. When Tessa came to visit, Mariah wasn't very receptive to her and wasn't very nice to Tessa. Then Mariah blocked her from visiting completely. Young and the Restless. Mariah goes too far. What made things so much worse was Mariah checked herself out of the clinic. She didn't tell Tessa, and she didn't tell anybody else. Mariah just took off. She's not answering her phone. When Tessa called, Mariah texted once confirming that she checked out of the clinic, but not giving any more information. The tracking app that Tessa has for their family tracking shows that Mariah is headed south, even further away from her and Aria. Plus, Mariah didn't even take the video call on Christmas when Tessa tried to let Aria see her other mom. At this point, Tessa really doesn't think Mariah is ever coming home to them. Tessa Porter and Daniel Romalotti find comfort together. Tessa told Daniel she's given up on her marriage because Mariah gave up on them as well. So, Tessa was really the only one fighting for their marriage, and Mariah doesn't want anything to do with her. Tessa's not going to keep going on like that, and she's spoken with a lawyer. She's ready to get the ball rolling on divorce proceedings for Mariah. The bottom line is Daniel makes Tessa happy. She said she feels more safe with him than she has in a long time. He's a really good guy, and Daniel's been there for her every step of the way during this whole thing with Mariah. Plus, Daniel and Tessa moved slowly. They were just friends, and when Daniel was grieving, Tessa was helping him through it. Daniel and Tessa were just friends for a good long while before they started smooching here and there. Daniel only recently took Tessa to bed on New Year's Eve when she asked him to. Tessa wanted to feel good again and move past her heartbreak. Mariah Copeland's mental health spiral and the return of Ian Ward on Young and the Restless. Anyway, even though it's painful for Tessa to end her marriage to Mariah, it definitely looks like Tessa is absolutely ready to fully move forward with Daniel. She wants to be happy and feel loved. And it definitely looks like she and Daniel could be on the fast track to getting serious. Of course, Tessa has no idea what's really going on with Mariah and how bad it is. Tessa thinks Mariah just abandoned her and Aria and doesn't care about them. But the fact is Mariah does miss Tessa and Aria and she wants them back. But this Ian Ward hallucination that she's manifesting is stopping her. Currently on Young and the Restless, Mariah is being haunted by Ian all the time. Now, all of us know he is really alive, but Mariah and everybody else in Genoa City still think he's dead. At this point, it seems like it's Mariah's brain taunting her by hallucinating Ian. But at some point, since he really is alive, we could see Mariah back with the villain and under his control. The Path cult and Mariah's dangerous new direction. Either way, Ian is pulling Mariah back down a dark path. I think she's going to wind up back with Ian or what's left of Ian's cult. YNR keeps using these words in dialogue between Ian and Mariah. The Path. That's what they keep saying when he's talking to Mariah, and that was the name of his cult. Ian has convinced Mariah in her brain that she needs to put Tessa and Aria behind her so she can do what's right, so she can follow the path. Ian is dressed up like a priest. He's reciting scriptures. He's telling Mariah she has to do what needs to be done. The last time we saw Mariah, it looked like Ian had her really convinced. She tore up the picture of her, Tessa, and Arya and threw it in the trash. Then Mariah said, as long as she believes, nothing can go wrong. YNR 2026 spoilers, legal trouble, and a shocking pregnancy theory. But it sounds like things are going to go very wrong for Mariah because YNR spoilers for 2026 say there's going to be a mystery with Devin Hamilton, Brighton James, and Abby Newman, Melissa Ordway, tied to Mariah, Tessa, and Daniel. Christine Williams, Laura Lee Bell, gets involved because somebody needs her legal expertise when they're in trouble. I'm wondering if it's Mariah that's going to need legal help because Ian or the cult members get Mariah to do something illegal. Either way, it seems certain that Tessa is going to see Mariah again sooner rather than later. Tessa is going to be thrown for one heck of a loop if Mariah comes back saying she loves Tessa and never wanted to leave her and Arya. Young and the Restless, major shocker ahead. Since Tessa and Daniel just made love, and I expect them to keep doing that, and because she had been sleeping with a woman, she's probably not on birth control. So, there's a chance that Tessa could turn up pregnant. That would be a wild twist for her and Daniel. Of course, he'd be thrilled if he and Tessa made a baby. I think his daughter, Lucy Romalotti, Lily Brooks O'Brien, might be thrilled about it. Of course, Daniel's mom, Phyllis Summers, Michelle Stafford, would have a fit, but she's always having a fit all the time. The soapiest outcome. Will Tessa choose Daniel or Mariah? If Tessa does wind up pregnant, she might find out she's carrying Daniel's baby right as Mariah pops back into her life, because, of course, that would be the soapiest outcome. Obviously, Tessa would be conflicted if Mariah came back and wanted to reunite and said she never wanted to leave her. But the fact is she did abandon Tessa and Arya. I think Tessa would take some convincing before she would ever consider reuniting with Mariah. And if Tessa is pregnant with Daniel's child, that would complicate any decision Tessa makes about a reunion. Obviously, she loves Mariah, but she's starting to move past her, and I think she is falling for Daniel. I don't know if Tessa would give up the happiness she has with Daniel and risk getting hurt again by Mariah. But if it does play out this way, Tessa will obviously have a big decision to make. So we'll see what happens. Exclusive Genoa City explodes with news. Daniel and Tessa's baby bombshell. In a twist that no YNR fans saw coming, explosive spoilers released today suggest that longtime fan favorites Daniel Romalotti Jr. and Tessa Porter could be at the center of the next big bombshell storyline on The Young and the Restless. One that could rock Genoa City to its core. The buzz? Tessa may be pregnant with Daniel's child, and the timing couldn't be more dramatic. This potential pregnancy storyline doesn't just carry soap standard emotional impact. It threatens to upend multiple relationships, reopen old wounds, and spark some of the juiciest drama we've seen in months. The story so far, Tessa, Mariah, and Daniel's shifting dynamics. Recently, the beloved couple Tessa Porter and Mariah Copeland have been struggling. After enduring emotional strain and a disturbing influence from Ian's cult storyline, Mariah shockingly checked out of her treatment clinic and disappeared, leaving Tessa feeling abandoned. During Mariah's absence, Tessa leaned on Daniel for support. Their deep friendship slowly turned to romantic connection. On New Year's Eve, Tessa and Daniel made love, a development that's now lighting up spoiler forums everywhere. YNR recaps, spoilers, and news. Fans have speculated wildly about what this intimate moment could mean. But now it may be more than just speculation. The shocking twist that could change everything. According to breaking spoilers from Soap Dirt published today, the possibility exists that Tessa could turn up pregnant from her night with Daniel. The source points out that since Tessa and Daniel recently became intimate, and she has historically been with women, and may not be on birth control, there's a real chance a pregnancy could unfold into one of Genoa City's biggest story arcs. And in true YNR fashion, this pregnancy wouldn't be a quiet or simple reveal. It has the potential to explode everywhere. Mariah could return right into the middle of it, just as Tessa discovers she may be carrying Daniel's child. A baby could instantly complicate custody dynamics, old promises, and future relationships. Even Phyllis Summers is poised to react, because she always knows how to stir the pot. This isn't just a personal twist, it's a story with legal, emotional, and family consequences in every direction. What this means for Genoa City's relationships. Let's break down the emotional target zones this twist could hit. 1. Tessa versus Mariah. Love, loss, and betrayal. Tessa and Mariah were one of Genoa City's most stable couples in recent years. But Mariah's mysterious disappearance, fueled by Ian's manipulative path cult influence, left Tessa shaken. If Tessa does end up pregnant with Daniel's child, Mariah's return could instantly become one of the most painful reunions in Y&R history. Tessa might be torn between her love and loyalty for Mariah and her future with Daniel and their baby. Echoes of classic soap betrayal with a modern twist would captivate viewers. Imagine Mariah holding an ultrasound photo just as Tessa walks in. 2. Daniel's family. Lucy, Phyllis, and her reaction. Daniel's daughter Lucy, who has long been his pride and joy, could become a central figure in this arc. If Tessa is indeed pregnant with Daniel's baby, Lucy might react with joy, confusion, or even jealousy. Daniel's mother, Phyllis Summers, might have the performance of her life, reacting from elation to chaos in minutes. Phyllis has a long history of dramatic outbursts and soap rage moments. Perfect fuel for a baby bombshell. Fans are already speculating about her possible meltdown. Is Phyllis rooting for her son's happiness or doubling down on chaos? 3. Genoa City's wider drama ripples. This twist wouldn't only affect Tessa, Daniel, and Mariah. Across Genoa City, Nick Newman and the Newmans could weigh in on family loyalty. Kane and Lily's budding relationship could get overshadowed by the intensity of this crisis. Audra and Claire, already involved in pregnancy gossip, might be dragged into their own paternity crossroads. Coming soon, the entire show could pivot around this central bombshell, like many unforgettable Y&R arcs before it. Fan theories exploding online. Soap fans have zero chill about this potential storyline, and they're already buzzing on Reddit and social boards about the possibilities. If Tessa is pregnant with Daniel's baby, that would be epic awkwardness. One fan wrote, capturing the wild emotion viewers would feel. Others are already theorizing it could be the biggest twist of the year, especially if it drops amid Mariah's sudden return from the cult storyline. Some speculate that production might even be setting up for a dramatic paternity reveal episode, possibly involving misdirection, surprise test results, or even another party getting involved. That's classic Y&R territory. How this fits with recent episodes. We already saw a significant turning point when Daniel and Tessa got intimate on New Year's Eve, marking a major shift from friendship to romance. Y&R recap spoilers and news. That moment wasn't random, and if there's any truth to the pregnancy spoilers, this could be the largest arc building quietly right now. It might tie back into Mariah's struggles and her recent absence, making for massive emotional resonance when she returns. Writers often use slow burns like this, planting seeds before a devastating reveal that changes everything. If you've ever binged a Y&R secret baby revelation, you know how powerful it can be. What happens next? Spoiler forecast. Here's how this storyline could unfold over the next weeks, based on patterns from Y&R history and the latest insider reports. Tessa starts feeling off or hears rumors about being late. Emotional tension builds between her and Daniel, both nervous and excited. Mariah returns suddenly, complicating everything emotionally. A surprise pregnancy test or ultrasound reveal happens mid-scene, possibly with Tessa alone or accidentally in front of Mariah. Chaos ensues, secrets, confrontations, and potential paternity confusion. Any of those could be monster episode ratings moments. Exactly what could rock Genoa City? Stay tuned, because if this baby bombshell pans out, 2026 could be a historic year for Young and the Restless. This is the kind of story fans talk about for years. A transformational twist with love, heartbreak, and new life all tangled together. Final thought. Soap operas thrive on unexpected twists and emotional stakes. If Tessa's pregnancy with Daniel's baby comes to pass, it will not only be shocking news for Genoa City, it will breathe new life into all the surrounding storylines, reignite fan discussion, and set social media on fire. Whether viewers end up cheering for the unexpected pairing, rooting for Mariah's return, or watching the Newmans weigh in, this story has all the ingredients of soap gold. YNR spoilers. Phyllis protects herself and Daniel as AI time runs out. The Young and the Restless spoilers document that Phyllis Summers, Michelle Stafford, always has her children's best interests at heart. The offer she made to Billy Abbott, Jason Thompson, which Jack Abbott, Peter Bergman, rejected, was all about helping Summer Newman, last played by Alison Lanier. Now, Phyllis sees that Daniel Romalotti, Michael Graziadei, is deepening his relationship with Tessa Porter, Kate Fairbanks. That's problematic, and Phyllis is determined not to let her son get hurt. While all of the above is playing out, viewers can consider one of many questions. How long until the artificial intelligence storyline reaches its final climax, stealing from Kane Ashby and giving to Victor Newman? Phyllis played reverse Robin Hood when she stole Kane Ashby's, Billy Flynn, artificial intelligence tool by hacking into Arabesque's computer system. After doing so, she went to Victor Newman, Eric Braeden, and made what she believed was a good deal. Like Victor, Phyllis is about her family. But other than faking her death in the recent past, she doesn't play games with them. Stafford's character also doesn't vindicatively punish her children when they don't do what she wants, as Victor does. Regretting what transpired won't change anything now. However, giving Victor the AI program allowed him to use it as a weapon to end Kane's company and now to threaten Jabot's existence, which would seemingly break the agreement he made for her to become its head. Daniel Romalotti is falling back in love. Heather Stevens, Vale Bloom, was brutally murdered in cold blood by Ian Ward, Ray Wise. Her death impacted Daniel severely, as it would anyone who is in love with another person. It's taken a few years in real and soap time, but Daniel has worked through his grief, handled its stages, and is in love again. Tessa wasn't someone he would have predicted being connected to because of the tie to Mariah Copeland, Cameron Grimes. That poor soul checked herself out of the facility in Boston, Massachusetts, and is seeing visions of Ian or apparent mental projections somewhere in the southern United States. That scenario leaves Daniel and Tessa open to exploring love, with Phyllis seeing heartbreak ahead. So, she's trying to convince Daniel to reconsider what he's doing. Phyllis Summers has the ability to alter many courses. Victor is keeping Phyllis at bay the longer he holds off on decimating Jabot. Jack wrote her off by saying he's going in a different direction, with the unstated road being Michael Baldwin's Christian LeBlanc, assumed help in sabotaging Victor. Phyllis's master skill is hacking. So with or without anyone's go-ahead, she can take that program back from the mustache. Protecting her family and regaining her AI power are parallel interests. Fans know not to count Phyllis out or underestimate her ability to create drama and also to come out ahead. Today's shocking Young and the Restless spoilers. Phyllis protects herself and Daniel as AI time runs out. Genoa City, January 7th, 2026. The drama on the Young and the Restless has officially hit critical overload. With alliances shifting, hearts on the line, and the explosive AI storyline about to reach its climax, one thing's for sure. Phyllis Summers is back in full force, and she's not playing nice. Fans woke up today to jaw-dropping spoilers revealing that Phyllis, Michelle Stafford, desperate to protect her future and that of her son Daniel Romalotti Jr., Michael Graziadei, is pulling out all the stops, even if it means getting tangled deeper in corporate warfare, romantic entanglements, and high-stakes tech danger. Let's break down what's happening and why this could be the most shocking turn yet on YNR. 1. The AI crisis, race against time. The biggest storm brewing in Genoa City right now. A cutting-edge artificial intelligence program created by Kane Ashby, Billy Flynn. This AI has the asterisk power to change the landscape of every major corporation in town, including Jabot and possibly Numenone Media. But it's not just a business tool, it's weaponizable. Here's what we know. Phyllis stole Kane's AI program by hacking into Arabesque's system. She gave it to Victor Newman. Victor has already used it to cripple Kane's company, and now threatens Jabot's survival. Jack Abbott, furious and wary, has rejected old deals and now wants to fight back. But the clock is ticking. This has thrown the entire corporate world of Genoa City into chaos. Everyone wants control. Victor, Jack, Kane, and now Phyllis. But with the AI, time runs out. Every second counts. 2. Phyllis's biggest motivation yet. Family first. YNR spoilers reveal something huge. Phyllis isn't just in this for revenge or power anymore. She's in this to protect her family. Specifically, her son Daniel and herself. Why? It's personal. Daniel has been rebuilding his life after years of grief and heartbreak, especially following the tragic murder of his love, Heather Stevens. Now he's developing a relationship with Tessa Porter, Kate Fairbanks, which Phyllis fears could lead him down a path full of heartbreak if left unchecked. Rather than being a meddling mother just for drama's sake, spoilers suggest Phyllis truly believes she's safeguarding Daniel's emotional future, even if that puts her at odds with both love and conflict ahead. Phyllis sees trouble ahead. Since Heather's murder and Benjamin's hospital stay, Daniel's vulnerability has been a concern for Phyllis. With Tessa's history and painful emotional baggage from Mariah Copeland's past, Phyllis believes the worst could happen if she doesn't intervene. So what does she do? She fights, strategically and ruthlessly, to protect him. And she's not about to let love or emotion cloud her judgment. 3. Phyllis and Victor. Strategic frenemies. The alliance between Phyllis and Victor is one of the most fascinating shifts in Genoa City's recent history. These two have never been simple allies. They've clashed, kissed, betrayed, and battled for decades. Now their uneasy partnership is centered around one thing: who controls the AI? Why Victor keeps her close. Victor sees Phyllis as a brilliant, unpredictable wild card. Someone who can disrupt the market and jawbone into submission any obstacle in his path. But does he trust her? Not exactly. He's using her and she knows it. Phyllis's counterplay. Here's the twist. Phyllis isn't just holding her cards to help Victor. She can take that AI back anytime she wants. She's a hacker with deep knowledge, and she now has first-hand exposure to how powerful and dangerous this tech can be. Today's spoilers strongly hint that Phyllis might use the AI not to destroy, but to leverage a future for Daniel and herself that exceeds anything Victor or Jack could ever imagine. This isn't sabotage, it's survival and power, with a heavy dose of soul-searching. 4. The Daniel and Tessa twist. Daniel's romance with Tessa Porter has had fans on the edge of their seats for months, but now it's caught in a serious emotional undertow. Spoilers tease that Tessa left a treatment facility and is somewhere in the southern U.S., seeing visions of Ian Ward, Ray Wise. This leaves Daniel torn between his growing love and fear for her emotional stability. Phyllis doesn't just disapprove. She's convinced that allowing Daniel to continue this romance could lead to more heartbreak, and she's starting to act on that belief. Could we see one of the boldest Phyllis interventions ever? Absolutely. Fans online are already speculating that she might set a trap, not to hurt Tessa, but to test her stability and intentions. 5. Allies and enemies forming fast. In Genoa City, neutral ground no longer exists. Here's how the major players are realigning. Victor Newman, power-hungry and resourceful, using the AI to crush rivals and protect Newman interests. Jack Abbott, disillusioned with Victor, and now at odds with Phyllis after rejecting her deal. Kane Ashby, the creator of the AI, possibly poised to reclaim or even outplay those who stole his creation. Daniel Romalotti, caught between his own heart and his mother's fierce protection. Tessa Porter, unsettled and unpredictable, making her emotional trajectory a wild card in this complex web. This tangled alliance map makes every conversation, every business deal, and every emotional confession potentially explosive. The AI is just the backdrop. The real drama is the collision of hearts and ambitions. 6. What this means for fans. The current YNR arc isn't just another corporate tussle. It's transformational. The AI storyline has broken alliances, reversed loyalties, redefined power structures, and placed Phyllis Summers at the epicenter of everything. Fans are buzzing online debating. Is Phyllis finally playing the game her way? Will Daniel break free from his mother's shadow? Can Victor be toppled by his own weapon? Is Tessa truly stable? Or is this a setup for a bigger twist? This level of fan speculation is exactly the kind of water cooler moment that soaps live for, especially with stakes this high and unpredictable. 7. What's next? Predictions that you can't miss. Prediction 1. Phyllis takes control of the AI again. Whether through hacking or clever negotiation, don't be surprised if we see her wrest the AI back from Victor. Not to destroy it, but to use it strategically. Prediction 2. Daniel faces a moral crossroads. Phyllis's intervention could push Daniel to make a choice between love and family loyalty, forcing him to redefine what kind of man he wants to be. Prediction 3. An emotional breakthrough for Tessa. Her visions of Ian could either be a turning point for healing or a catalyst for further chaos. Prediction 4. A major corporate shakeup. Whether Jabot survives or Victor's empire falters, the corporate map of Genoa City is about to be redrawn, and Phyllis might be the one holding the pen. Final word. Strap in YNR fans, because this storyline isn't just exciting. It's earth-shaking. Phyllis Summers has never been one to shy away from chaos, but now she's channeling it for family protection and personal survival. With the AI countdown looming and every major character's future on the line, January 2026 might just deliver one of the most unforgettable chapters in Young and the Restless history. YNR, spoilers Tuesday, January 6th. Dangerous plot twist, bad news in the know. The Young and the Restless spoilers for Tuesday, January 6th reveals some major bombshells on the horizon in Genoa City. There's a dangerous plot twist up ahead. Well, family gets bad news, and a mama bear wants to be in the know. What's on the horizon for Tuesday? Time to find out. Nick Newman's dangerous situation. The Young and the Restless spoilers for Tuesday, January 6th, hint that Nick Newman's Joshua Morrow plan to take down Matt Clark, Roger Howarth, will have a dangerous plot twist. During the January 5th episode, Nick was driving a tied-up Matt who knows where, and the villain ended up getting out of his twist ties to choke Nick while he was driving. Nick's sure to crash into something, but will he be okay, and what will happen to Matt? The Newman family's bad news. Meanwhile, Nikki Newman, Melody Thomas Scott, and Victor Newman, Eric Braden, will get bad news. Is this linked to their son or other unsettling news altogether? Could this be about Nick? Will his car hit something? And could he end up in the hospital? Could Matt escape any repercussions entirely? Fans will have to tune in to find out. Phyllis Summers wants to know everything. Finally, the Young and the Restless spoilers for Tuesday suggest that as Tessa Porter, Kate Fairbanks, and Daniel Romalotti, Michael Graziere, get closer, his mom Phyllis Summers, Michelle Stafford, will want to know the 411 on their romance. The two hit the sheets on New Year's Eve. So will Daniel tell his mom about that? Added teasers imply that Phyllis won't only want to know about the status of their relationship, but it sounds like she'll also add her opinion on the matter, so Daniel may remain tight-lipped about everything that's gone on between him and Tessa. Are you a fan of this couple, or do you prefer Tessa with Mariah Copeland, Cameron Grimes? Genoa City in chaos. The biggest YNR spoilers today, January 6th. If you thought The Young and the Restless couldn't dial up the drama any higher in 2026, think again. Tuesday's episode delivers one of the most jarring twists in recent memory. A dangerous plan backfiring, iconic Newman family faces rocked, and a villain on the loose again. Here's what you need to know right now. and why social feeds everywhere are blowing up with reactions from fans who cannot believe what they just saw. 1. Matt Clark escapes, and everything goes off script. The most shocking news from today's episode: Matt Clark is back on the loose. Yes, that Matt. The one nobody thought would ever get another shot at wreaking havoc in Genoa City. In a jaw-dropping sequence, Nick Newman's bold attempt to bring Matt to justice completely collapses when Matt turns the tables, forcing Nick into a violent car crash and escaping custody in the chaos. This isn't just another soap moment, it's a game changer. Matt ambushed Nick and turned his own capture attempt into disaster. Nick ends up hospitalized and vulnerable. Matt disappears into the night, and nobody knows where he'll strike next. Fans are calling it the most ruthless twisting of a villain return we've seen this side of Genoa City's darkest days. And honestly, they might be right. 2. Nick Newman's life in the balance, family reels. Just when things couldn't get any worse, Nick Newman is sidelined in the hospital with serious injuries. The car crash wasn't just a near miss, it left him with a fractured leg and possibly much more. Picture the scene. Nick wakes up surrounded by Nikki, Sharon, and Victoria, but not in control of what comes next. Soap Central. Doctors are talking surgery. Victor Newman is on edge, juggling family concern with fear that Matt will strike again. This isn't just Nick's day goes sideways. It's a family entire arc rewritten, and fans are devastated to see such a central character in peril. Is anyone safe in Genoa City? One fan posted. This is like watching a slow-motion explosion with no end. 3. Newman matriarch shocked. Victor and Nikki receive unsettling news. Just as Genoa City was trying to take a breath, more bad news hit. Victor and Nikki Newman get some truly unsettling intel. Sources tease. Victor and Nikki are blindsided not only by Nick's accident, but by the larger fallout from Matt's escape. The traditional Newman war machine, built on dominance, bloodlines, and sheer force of will, is on uncertain footing. This isn't petty, soap, feud territory anymore. It's emotional, psychological, and strategic pressure on the couple most viewers thought could handle anything. Now, they're scrambling, and Genoa City gossip boards are on fire with reactions like, Victor doesn't get stunned unless the world is ending. This is big. 4. Phyllis's bold moves, but does it help or hurt? While all eyes were on the Newman disaster, Phyllis Summers quietly triggered a separate but explosive storyline. According to spoilers, she interrogates Daniel Romalotti Jr., pressing him about his connection to Tessa Porter and potentially trying to manipulate things for her own ends. But in true Phyllis fashion, what looked like protection ended up looking like control. And fans are debating whether she's actually helping her son or digging him deeper into trouble. Social reactions range from Phyllis always thinks 5 steps ahead to she's just making everything worse. One fan summed it up perfectly. Phyllis isn't just in the battle, she's writing her own war. 5. Family dynamics hit new tension peaks. As if chaos from villains wasn't enough, today's spoilers also hinted at deeper emotional ruptures across neighborhoods and alliances in Genoa City. Victoria's concern, is she done turning the other cheek? Victoria Newman's bond with her father Victor is being tested as she watches the fallout from Matt's escape and Nick's injuries. Some spoilers suggest her patience with Victor's legacy of retaliation is wearing thin. Sharon and Noah's fragile moment. In the wake of the crash, tensions are sky high. Noah rushes from the hospital room, possibly to track down Matt himself, a decision fans are calling reckless but emotionally raw. Sienna and Tessa, a strange reunion. Adding another layer of complexity, Sienna and Tessa appear to share a past connection that could explode into new drama. This blending of personal history with present danger is exactly the kind of layered storytelling that keeps fans debating long after the credits roll. Fan reactions, hot takes, and opinions. Across Reddit, Twitter, and fan forums, reactions are flying, and many of them are not holding back. Here's a snapshot of the hottest community takes from today. Matt should have stayed in cuffs. This is exactly chaos we didn't need. Nick in the hospital. Classic Y&R gut punch. Victor and Nikki having real trouble? That's new. Phyllis as a strategist is either genius or disaster waiting to happen. One fan even joked, Genoa City is the Bermuda Triangle of drama. Nothing enters without falling apart. What this means for Y&R going forward. Today's show didn't just deliver big moments. It reset stakes across the canvas. Here's what major arcs are now pointing toward. Matt Clark's new role, the ultimate wild card. Matt isn't just escaped, he's unstoppable. And with the Newman family fractured and desperate, he could become the biggest threat Genoa City has seen in years. Nick's journey, from hero to vulnerable. Nick's situation may evolve into a slow-burn recovery arc or a deeper identity crisis. Soap spoilers hint that his ordeal could push him to question how he fights villains from here on out. Newman family turmoil. Victor and Nikki receiving unsettling news could mean internal strife, not just external attack. Family loyalty will be tested harder than ever before. Emotional fallout for all. From Sharon to Noah, Phyllis to Daniel, many characters are on the brink of change. Today wasn't just shocking, it was transformative. Final take. This wasn't just another episode, it was a turning point. Tuesday, January SXS episode of The Young and the Restless wasn't merely full of drama. It shifted the entire emotional and narrative landscape of the show. What happened today? A villain LOL doesn't just escape, he turns a hero's plan into disaster. A beloved character is left fighting for recovery. Iconic legacy characters are blindsided by news they didn't expect. Supporting characters are dropping emotional bombs. Fan reaction is explosive, loud, and deeply engaged. If you're following Young and the Restless spoilers today, you're witnessing a watershed moment for the show. Buckle up, because this is only the beginning of what promises to be one of the most talked about arcs in Y&R history.